Hi computer scientists, Mr. Stafford here, and today I'm going to be showing you Unit 3, Lesson 2, Accessing and Modifying Elements. The first level, it says use this level as a workspace for completing your activity guide with your partner. So the activity guide that you should be using is from Unit 3, Lesson 2, and it gives you the code that it wants you to put in, and then when you run the program, you will see what gets printed out, and then you write your solution in the solution on the right-hand side. And it says as you work, you should each take turns answering questions and testing your hypothesis. So if you have somebody to work with, I definitely recommend working with somebody so you can bounce ideas off of one another. Also, a quick tip for this: don't delete any of your code. Just continue your code on each line. Okay, the next level that we're going to look at is the theater is opening in the neighborhood, and the theater manager would like to paint the logo on the sidewalk in front of their building. They have decided on a set of colors and given them to you as an array. So we need to import Painter Plus. So go to your backpack and import your Painter Plus, and then create a Painter Plus object at 2, 7 facing north with 20 units of paint. So that's what I'm going to do here. And I'm going to tab this over and say Painter Plus Sam equals new Painter Plus 2, 7 facing north with 20 units of paint, and create the logo shown below by accessing each paint color from the paint colors array. So when I run this, I just want to make sure that I've made my painter where they need to be. And I'm down here on the bottom left, and I need to make this array of paint. So here's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to do sam.turn right, because I'm going to do this bottom row first. And then what I'm going to do is, let's see, that first paint color, I'm going to go sam.paint. And we need to access the paint from our paint color array. So I have light cyan, dark sea green, plum, powder blue, and snow. And keep in mind we're indexing from 0. So it looks like that first color from paint colors is the first index, so that's index 0. And just to make sure that I'm doing the right color palette, I'm going to run it, make sure that I'm good, and that looks like it matches. And then I'm going to do sam.move, sam.paint. The next paint color looks like it is that dark sea green, so paint colors. Dark sea green is at index 1. Run that, make sure that I'm good. It looks good. Next thing I'll do is I see that there is a pattern here. So I'm going to move and paint and move and paint. So I'm going to copy that. And it looks like I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of those. And I've already done 2. So I'm going to do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So matching the colors with the ones that are in the logo that it wants me to do, I see that plum is at index of 2. And then I've got powder blue. Maybe it's snow at index. Let's try powder blue. I'll run that at 3. Okay. And when I ran it, I just had this default of 1 in there, so which is why that's all green. So it looks like snow, which is at 4, comes next, which is this one. And then I'm going to have 3, and then 1, which is taken care of there, and then 2. So I'm going to run that, make sure that we're good. That looks like it matches. Okay, so now I trust that you can navigate your painter and access the elements or the colors in this array to the ones that you need. And so the format for that is you have to say the name of the array that you're talking to. In this case, it's paint colors. And then how we access the indexes or the indices is you do hard bracket and then you say the number of the index that you need. So I'm going to advance to the next one. And it says, the theater manager likes the logo, but wants to try a new set of colors. Change the colors in the array to be dark red, red, orange, yellow, and light yellow. So it's the same pattern as what we had last time, and I'm going to run this. But now what we need to do is actually change the elements within the array. So what we need is dark red, and I'm going to copy and paste these so I don't have a chance of misspelling anything. Even copying and pasting red, copy and paste yellow, and copy and paste light yellow. Okay, go ahead and run that. Make sure that my color palette is okay, and my color palette is okay. So once you finished up the previous level, this level would be just copying and pasting those color names into the paint colors array. All right. Next one, arrays in the theater. So we're transitioning now from the neighborhood to what we're going to call the theater. So we were opening up this theater, we painted a logo outside the theater, and now we are inside the theater. And it says, welcome to the theater. Let's start by choosing the images you want to use for your concert. And it says, look in Manage Assets below, which is right here, and choose an animal image and a home image. So you're going to click inside of here and then find an animal image and a home image that you would like to display. So you can also click on these animals to open them up in a different tab, which I'm going to do with the first one. Keep flowing down. And I'll do it with the first one also. But spend some time, take a look at the animals and the homes that you would like to see or like to use. Okay, so in my concert.java, so I'm in my concert.java, replace your character.png and character home.png on line 12 with the names of the images that you chose. And be sure to include the file extension PNG or JPEG. Okay, so we need to flow to line 12, which is right here, and it says to replace the your character with the characters that we have. And I'm seeing up here, and it's even in the tab name. Let's see if we can zoom in on that. So I got animal01.png and home01.png. And those are the names that I'm going to use here on line 12. So animal01.png and home01.png. And if you run this, nothing is going to happen. This is just what we were supposed to do on level 5. And I say nothing is going to happen. We hear some music being played, but we're not able to see our images yet. So know that you have done everything correctly once you have edited line 12. And go ahead and advance to the next level. And then on the next level, it's saying let's start the concert by introducing your character and showing their home. Look at the documentation for the theater and find the draw image method. Okay, so we're going to look for the draw image method, and we need to look at the documentation. So I'm going to click on Help for this documentation, and I like to open it up in another tab. So if I click on the wheel, it's going to open this up. Okay, and what we were supposed to look for was the draw image method. So it says public void draw image, string file name, int x, int y, int width, int height, and double rotation, and it throws a file not found exception. Okay, so this is the documentation for it. Spend some time here too, take a look at the other methods, and we're going to dive deep into what these actual parameters mean in the draw image. And it says draw an image on the canvas at the given location, expanded or shrunk to fit the width and height provided. So the parameters: file name, it's the name of the file in the asset manager. X is the left side of the image on the canvas. Y is the top of the image on the canvas. Width is the width to draw the image on the canvas. Height is the height to draw the image on the canvas. And rotation is the amount to rotate the image in degrees. Okay, and then the exception is file not found exception. So if you input something incorrectly, a wrong file name, it's going to throw a file not found exception. The file cannot be found. Okay, so now that we kind of have an idea of what draw image does, I'm going to flow back here, back to the instructions. Okay, and it says to show your character's home as the background of the stage, use character home as the image to display. I think I need to be in characterstory.java, so that's what I'm going to do. I think I skipped over that. So in characterstory.java, display the images of your character's home and your character by using the mystage.draw image in your show introduction method. Okay, so I'm in characterstory.java. And I need to go to the show introduction method, which is on line 16. And it says the use the mystage.draw image. Okay, so I'm going to copy that, and says to do, display the image of your character's home. So I'm going to paste that, mystage.draw image. And it says to show your character's home as the background of the stage, use character home as the image. So the file name is character home. And where character home is coming from is it's an instance variable, character home, that's getting initialized in our character story constructor. Okay, so I need to use that character home instance variable. Okay, we're going to display it at 0, 0 for our x and y coordinates. It also says mystage.getWidth, so I'm going to put mystage.getWidth. And so what it's actually doing is it's taking a look at the size of my stage, and I want it to be the width of my stage. So that's the getWidth. And the height is going to be mystage.getHeight. Okay, and 0 for the rotation. Okay, so I'm going to say 0 for the rotation. End it with a semicolon. I'm going to run this just to make sure that I don't have anything incorrect. Give it a second. And now I have that image, which is the home 01 image that I had picked from before. And to show your character in the mystage, in the stage, use my character as the image to display. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to copy and paste this. Okay, what I put on line 18, I'm going to do that same thing for my character. And instead of character home, I need to use my character, which again is another instance variable, okay, my character, which gets initialized in the constructor. And it says 0, 0, mystage.getWidth, mystage.getHeight, and 0. Now, my character is going to be pretty big because I'm setting it as the width of the stage and the height of the stage. And so she's massive. So my little armadillo, I want you to be a little bit smaller. So here's what I'm going to do. I want it to be a quarter size of the background, just to see what that gets me. So I'm going to divide it by 4 on the mystage.getWidth and the mystage.getHeight. I'm also going to divide that by 4. Reset and run that. I also want to place her Probably not in the sky. We'll get a little bit lower into the stage. So she's up here in the top left. That size is pretty good. She's still a big armadillo, but she's just big boned. Let's put her down here. This, I'm going to say, let's see what 200 gets us. Stop, run this thing. And she looks good right there. Okay, so finally we've got our home and our armadillo, or your character, whatever your character is. And I'm going to hit finish. So on to the next level. And it says, let's practice working with arrays and using them to play sounds. Look at the documentation for the theater and find the play notes and pause. Okay. So I'm going to find, and Control F is how I'm finding this and pasting in the play note and pause. So public void, play note and pause. It says instrument, int note, double seconds. And so the parameter says instrument, the instrument to play. Note is the note to play. 60 represents middle C on the piano. The possible range of notes is from 48, representing a C 1 octave below middle C, and 84, 84 representing a C 2 octaves above middle C. So 48 is the lowest, 84 is the highest that I can be in this range of notes. Okay, and then seconds, it's the length of the note. Okay, so this is good documentation to keep in mind. I'm going to flow back. It says in my character story, so I got to flow to in character story, in character story.java, modify the following in the show introduction method. So here's my show introduction method. It says add 4 more notes to the song in the notes array. Okay, here's the notes array, and it asks me to add 4 more notes. So theater documentation, again, my lowest note is 48, my highest note is 84. So I'm going to use anything in between there. So let's go to 49. Let's go to 59. Let's go to 68 and 79. Okay, so that's what I've done. You can run it and listen to the notes, but I'm going to tell you that nothing has changed yet because I haven't played those notes yet. Listen to the song. Okay. It says number 2, use mystage.play and pause. That's what it says, play and pause, to play the notes that you've added. So what I'm looking at here, it says to do, play the notes you added and modify how those notes are played. So what I'm looking at is the song that is currently in there with the notes that were in there before I added them. So I'm seeing indexes 0 through 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and we added 49, 59, 68, and 79. So I'm going to add those 4 more notes. So I'm going to copy and paste, save 4 more notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And kind of look at this documentation. Remember back in the documentation it says instrument, the instrument to play. And the instrument to play, how that's represented, it says instrument, dot, and then all uppercase piano. Okay? And then the notes, so these are from that notes array. And I added an index at 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay? The last bit of the parameter is the seconds. How many seconds do we want this to play? So I want this to play for a half second, for a quarter second, for 3/4 of a second, and end with a nice 2-second note. Okay, so our song should be edited. Go ahead and run it and test. It's beautiful. It's an absolute masterpiece. Okay, so we're through step 4, change the notes in the array to a different set of notes. We did that. And then it says use mystage.drawText to write a message introducing your character and story. Okay, so here's mystage.drawText. I'm going to copy that, give myself a note, drawing text. And I need to know the documentation because I don't know how to draw text yet without looking at my documentation. So again, Control F, we'll find this, and it says string text, int X, int Y, color, color, font, font, font style, int height, and then double rotation. Okay, so what I need to do is type some text. Okay, so I'm going to do text, and my armadillo is hello. My name is Dina, and with a comma. Where do I want this text? Let's see. My armadillo Medina is at 2020 or 200. So I want this to be right above her. So let's go 100. We'll see where that gets us. And then the color. So I'm going to show you how this works. So instrument piano. This is the new kind of parameters that we have to use. So what we have to say is capital COLOR for color, dot, and I want this to be white. And I'm going to use all caps. Just like piano is in all caps, I'm going to use all caps for my color, color dot white. The next thing that I need to look at, okay, so I've got color taken care of, and font. Font is new to me. I don't know the different types of fonts, so I'm actually going to look up font in here and see if there is a list of documentation in this a list of fonts in this theater documentation, and there are. So it's right up at the top, and it says font constants. So I've got mono, I've got sans, I've got serif, and there's also font styles. So I'm going to do this, and I can't remember. I need to use the draw text. I forget what comes first. Font comes first. Okay, font comes first. I'm going to scroll back up to find the fonts. And let's use mono. We'll try mono. So font.mono. And then next is going to come the font style. So theater documentation. This is font style. Dot. Let's do bold. And I've already forgotten my draw text. What else I need? Color, font, int height, and double rotation. Okay, so let's look at height. Height and rotation. So let's throw in a, I don't know, 20 for height, and the rotation, I don't want it to be rotated. Make sure that I end my statement with a semicolon. We'll run this, make sure that it runs okay. and it says, hello, my name is Medina, right up there. Perfect. Okay, so some new syntax for us with these different parameters for color, font, and font style. I'm going to hit finish now. And solving problems with arrays, we are back to the painter with these levels. And so pick one that you would like to use or to complete.